night, all. Welcome back to the broadcast. Diligently working hard. I got to have to bring the sibling back, Lil Ya, UNLV
Uh,
legend
uh,
in the building. Mister, ya heard me.
yo, wait, man. You already know what's up, sibling.
We
What's
there,
up,
man.
man?
We there, and we've also got one of Ya. Is this your first artist, Ya?
My first signed artist, bro. Officially, I got some affiliates. I mean, I got some cats that I work with in mine and signed, and I've done a lot of work with them that I have in mine and signed. But this guy, man, I instantly had to sign him. I mean, you heard the story of you need to hear it
Mm.
again. He got there, and once he told you the story, he almost got. And I guess I have to finish the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, he was
Yes,
interesting, bro.
most
But Aero, man,
definitely.
welcome to the team, bro, and welcome to the world. Aero. All my people that I love, that love me, learn about my dude, man. See that. That's what I'm gonna leave. That's what I'm gonna tell y'all. First of all, yeah, I'm introducing him like I'm introducing me. You wait, man. Yeah.
Most definite. Aero, please do take a little bit of time, introduce yourself, and we'll get into the story, past, present, and future. Talk about the project and you know what I mean, everything in between.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To start, my name is David Aaron Olson. I was born September 28, 1978, in a Baptist hospital in Pensacola, Florida, about 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, you know, I was a 70s baby, a 80s kid. So, you know, I loved heavy metal and rap. And I wanted to break dance when I was a kid. That's all I was about, was popping and locking. Um, until as it grew, I grew
Progressed.
with it. Yeah, as it
Yes.
progressed. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know the history of it. I always loved it. Starting from New York, and then to be able to see how, because once upon a time you had regions, man, that like
Yes.
you didn't have this. Like New Orleans was almost like this hidden thing, and then you had L.A. and the Bay Area, and you could always hear where somebody was from. You could
Yeah.
hear it. You could see real culture. And so I was privileged to be able to really, see that. And now, unfortunately, I notice a lot of stuff just sounds the same,
Mm,
you know.
yeah.
But maybe I trailed off a little bit. Forgive me, I do that. But just my dad left when I was about two. And it was a rough go, man. I had a real rough childhood. Been homeless with my mom. Witnessed a bunch of crazy stuff, but nothing prepared me for what I witnessed last year. But that's me, y'all.
Mm.
I love rap. I love all music. I love all music, man. I love you. If you get on pots and pans good enough, you can keep me. Um, so
Hey, so Aero,
yeah.
so be- in Pensacola, so like what were some of the artists who you was like regionally, I guess, what were some of the artists you were kind of messing with back then? We're talking like early 90s, them kind of times.
Yeah, mid '90s for sure. All the way into 2000. So, and also in them days, man, I was running the streets pretty heavy. So Pensacola's kind of cliquish, and it, so there's that. And I just had this ambition and this dream. There was a local rapper who was like my mentor. He was a white dude. His name was Dusty Kennemer, and he could get. And this is
Mm,
early '90s, and I ain't got no problem saying, like, there was still the Vanilla Ice thing going on.
of
Like, you know what I
course.
mean? Like, it was
Yeah.
like you just weren't taken seriously.
Mm.
So, but this dude was getting respect, man. And so he kind of took me under his wing, and he also worked with Roy Jones Jr. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
On his
he
label.
no, no, no. This is early '90s. The guy that he was with, and I know this sounds whatever, but he was like with Roy and all that stuff heavy back then. So they kind of were in the mix on it, and I seen
Mm.
that, and he kind of approached me. He liked my style, but I was shy, so he had to bring it out of me. Kind of took me under his wing. The first name he gave me was Arrow, like a bow and arrow.
Okay.
But I just thought that was, man, I wasn't into that, man. I'm
That
like,
was
man,
corny, man.
yeah, I'm not into that. So I just went, what it is, it's Aro. It's my name without my first and last letter. You know, it's two A's, so it's Aaron with Aro, man. It's just, it's kind of my name. It just sounds a
Mm.
little snappier, but, you know, just, and back in those days, to answer your question about, and I'm probably trailing off, I didn't really fool with too many people because honestly, I was doing some stupid shit that I probably didn't need to get around too many people.
Mm. Mm.
I'm just being honest with you.
No, no, I get it. I get it. I get it. So musically, we're talking East Coast, obviously some West Coast. You mentioned the Bay. Um,
Oh,
was there
what
nothing?
influenced me?
Yeah, yeah, like influence wise.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so influence wise, like what were some of the artists who you kind of like?
Oh, I can jump all over that. Well, to start off with, my first rap song I ever heard in my life to this day, it just does something to me. It's Nucleus, Jam on It. And to this day, man, just the start of that song, I get crazy. The reason why is because I was big into the Chipmunks when I was a kid. And my brother and all my older cousins were getting into this rap. And they played Nucleus. And he convinced me that those were the Chipmunks on the song. You know that part in the song, the Wiki
Yeah,
Wiki?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I believed it, man. And I was like, damn. And it was just already so cool. I was like, man, this song, I love the song anyway. But then, man, Chipmunks are on it. So that was it, man. And then it was after that, you know, it was Fat Boys. We were huge Fat Boys fanatics. And, you know, LL Cool J, Run
Okay,
DMC,
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole gamut. But as time went on, me and my cousin Jesse really dug in, you know. Late 80s, it was uh, mm,
But
KRS-One,
Das
KRS-One,
effects.
DOS Effects. Oh, for sure.
Hmm.
Eric B. and Rakim, you know.
Yes.
Geez, man,
Cool,
I could
cool
go
G
on and on.
rap.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And he's so underrated, man. My
I
God.
know. He's a lyrical king, man. Lyrical
He is, man.
genius.
He
Right.
is.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. So then I moved to LA and it was game over when I moved to LA because it was all that.
yeah.
And then when I came home, I get introduced to this stuff out of New Orleans that I'm gonna be honest with you, I hooked like a fiend from day one. And yep,
So what time period are you talking now when you went back to Pensacola? What we're
probably
talking now?
like 93 to now.
Ooh. So you had
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to hear the bounce, the gangster bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know, I loved them all. I loved uh, Mobo Camp, Big Boy Records,
Mm.
Cash Money, No Limit. I loved them all, but I'm gonna be honest with you, out of all of them, it always kind of led towards Cash Money. And you know, and I love UNLV, I love BG, love
Yes.
everybody else. But that's probably my two favorites is UNLV and BG.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
just being honest with you.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But from you're kind of hitting it right there. UNLV is the like when you think of that kind of period as well, you
Mm-hmm.
think of Yella, Rising
Oh
Paradise, you think
yeah,
of,
yeah.
you know, Lil
Mm-hmm.
Ya.
Mm-hmm.
That was the encapsulating moment. And then obviously that little
Mm-hmm.
thing with Mystical and there
Mm-hmm.
was the Cash Money little rivalry and all that day, which was fun. It was part of the sports, it's part of the sport of hip hop. It did
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
me, now peep this for me, all the way over here in England. I'm kind of, especially as a youngster, I'm thinking, is this real beef or is this just like, competition beef kind of, I mean, are they gonna see people and then jump and stuff, or is this just like banging on wax as it should be?
That was the intention. That was the intention to have the world like feeling like, wow, man, what's happening with this? These boys about to do it, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm,
and guess what? It was his. That's why I always, when I tell a story, I give Mystical the credit for doing it. I didn't see that then. That was his vision. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? I didn't
Hmm.
see that. The world. I didn't. I mean, I didn't know nothing about one on wax. And when he explained it to me, I was like, okay, I'm cool with it. I'm gonna talk
Mm,
to y'all in tech. But today, man, it all made sense. So I credit Mystical for coming up with that plan. You heard?
definite, man. And I will say,
Mm-hmm.
not just because you're here, yeah, but that dragon through the river, hey. come on. That's one of the most hardest. That's one of the hardest. Like, come on.
Yeah, bro. Shit, man, I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate the flowers we got for that song. You know what I mean? I appreciate the effort that, you know, it took Yella to put in that song, and you know what I mean? And I just appreciate everything about it, bro. I don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? But I mean, at the end of the day, it was Mystical Plan, and you know what I'm saying? But don't sleep
Yeah.
on Boom Get Chopped. Boom Get Chopped was nice, but like I say, Dragon from the River was the biggest song
Yeah.
UNLV ever made to this day. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm, mm.
Mm-hmm. I can say that for me, I can't tell you how much petrol I burned. I used to go from UNLV Uptown for Life, BG Chopper City, back and forth,
Yes,
over and over,
yes,
over and over. And I
yes.
never got tired of
Yeah.
it. Still, it's timeless.
Listen, I was just playing that Chopper City yesterday while I was out and about. That Retaliation Bombay.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
come with Miss T, huh? Come
They try to
on.
get nigga.
Listen,
They told
as
me that
listen,
they
I don't.
try. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm
Yep.
singing to the
Yep.
choir now because we're all of that age, but we can put that Dragon Through the River, we can put that Retaliation and release that right now in the Gregorian year of 2023, and that slaps. That's going straight to number one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like some songs and some songs can go platinum, you know what I'm saying? But every song is not a classic. You know, every song that goes platinum is not a classic. And Dragon
Thanks.
from the River, that's definitely one of those classic ones, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Retaliation, think about it, that's on that level. Because
Yes.
it's been just as long, you know, just man, what it been like 20 something years since the song's
20
been out?
plus.
And you
Easy.
play them today in the club, man. You gotta thank all the generations that passed. They gonna vibe to that shit. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
another
For real.
point to add to that there, it weren't no 3 minutes, 30-second track, sibling. Huh? We're
What
talking
you say?
five.
I understand. You know, I have to ask you a few times because that England accent be like getting me.
I'm saying that the tracks of today are like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking a 4 minute plus track back then. That was the standard 4 minutes and 30 seconds, five
Yes.
minutes and all that there. We're getting quality, man. Rich sounds, mastered properly, with something you're listening to, the wordplay. Like the wordplay is out of this world with what y'all doing, man.
Oh man, come on. Especially UNLV. Man, them guys, the way they trade with each other. I ain't gonna lie. To this day, man, I mean, every album they have, there's something about them boys when they get together. I'm just telling you. Me and Ya, we do great. I love working with him, but I mean, even I see, man, that's his thing, man. When them guys, when UNLV's doing it, mm, I'm telling you, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's God, man.
And I ain't knocking
UNLV.
on, I ain't knocking us, but you know what I mean.
Nah,
Yeah,
we ain't trying to. We what he's saying really is he
can't
don't
do that.
want y'all to
Yeah.
compare UNLV
Mm.
to Lil Ya and Ro. You know,
No, don't
this
do
Lil
that to me,
Ya.
please.
This
Yeah.
is my identity. This is my identity as a solo artist, and this is a joint venture that I've done with my artists. But UNLV, that's the whole everything. You can't even mention us in a you know what I'm saying, the same sentence with that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Our accolades alone. Come on, man. I
Yes.
mean, we ain't trying
Mhm.
to get people to do that neither. You know, and first of all, I don't want people to go to tripping and thinking, "Oh man, y'all ain't in the group no more." Nah,
No, no, no,
just
no.
realize Tech's still locked up, so you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And y'all been a solo artist since 1999, actually. You know, I've been an established solo artist. So, like I said, this is part of my identity as a solo artist.
Mhm.
You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So
Mhm.
you get it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what you mean?
Yes.
Oh
Of
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
course.
what's up. Well
Yes.
said. Yeah, and that explains it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. So, Aero, break down a little bit of how you actually managed to link up with the legend, and was able to get this project out and stuff. How did that link
Mhm.
take place?
Okay, you want to go all the way back to when I first like met him?
Yeah, man.
Couple
How
years.
did
Okay.
you reach?
Definitely,
I
man.
take it
Definitely,
I
man.
take it, Aro, you reached out to Lil Ya, right?
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He ain't got no business reaching out to me, but I reached out to him probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I was starting to say, let me check this social media out to trying to, get in touch with people. And he responded. And he was very professional. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna talk unless he ain't gonna
Yeah.
sit there and just chat with you. So when I presented it, hey, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. I would love to work with you one day. And we talked back and forth about potentially a feature. And I kind of would check on him, for probably about 2 years, but you got to understand I'm a crane operator and I work sometimes 110 120 hours a week. um
Ooh.
I've got 25 years in the seat, man. I work 4 or 5 thousand hours a year, man. I work. So which I'm not doing well anyway.
Yeah.
And at the moment I've got my personal situation going
Mm,
on.
mm,
So the reason why I even said that was because for that 2 year period, I'm working and working and working. In this incident, and I produced for him back in I want to say 19, maybe 20. And I just had a couple tracks, you know what I mean? I'm really just trying to make relation with this dude, you know what I mean?
yes.
And so I sent it to him obviously for free. And he was polite. He probably went straight to the gutter with him, and that's fine. I don't. It is what it is. See,
Yes.
people have to be
Hold on,
willing.
hold on, Aero.
Yeah.
Let me stop you right there. Let me let you continue and run it, dog. But look, I didn't like just dump your shit down. I told you, I was like, yeah, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't me, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
I like really ended
Yeah.
our conversation, and I didn't lead you on to make you think that I was fucking with that. But after that, after the tracks or whatever, keep running it from there. So I just want to make you know and let everybody else know it ain't like I was like blowing smoke up your head about the track. I just didn't I shit on the track because you know what I'm saying? Certain things, certain people I give attention to. I don't have time to give attention to everybody that really want to fuck with me on that level. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? But when I give it attention, I really give it attention. And it wasn't, fucking with me. But through conversation, we became like, you know what I'm saying? I see he's trying to do something, but I ain't gonna fuck with him, you know what I'm saying? Until he give me something that I can fuck with. Now you finish your side.
Okay, I lost y'all for a second, but yeah, and so yeah, to make that clear, yeah, I don't want to paint a picture because I tell you what, Yafet, I mean, he was professional about it, and he wasn't, so I don't want nobody thinking like that. It's just what you said, it was all good. But I was staying in connection with him, and then, you know,
Right. That's the main thing. Now finish,
yeah,
finish.
yeah, you got to stay in connect, and I reached out to a lot of people and this, that, and the other, but really, if I choose, I'd rather work with him anyway, because um not that I got these big choices or whatever. I ain't speaking on myself like that. But as time, we now we're gonna roll all the way into last year when a horrible tragedy happened. At the beginning of last year, my wife confronted me and asked me, how are you going, what are you gonna do with your music? Uh, she was really pushing me, and it was strange. And I just remember thinking, because I have recorded 2 studio albums 100% on my own, and I didn't do nothing with them. You know what I mean? And that's why I tell people just keep grinding. But anyway, um,
So before you
she,
can, Aro, before you continue
yes,
with that part,
yes, yes, sir.
what was it? Lack of belief in yourself, why you didn't push
Mm-mm.
these?
Nope. I can stop that one quick. I believe in me. I was all about my family, man. All about
Okay.
my family. So before I got married, man, I mean, I was wild and running the streets, and yeah. So
Mm,
I was suicidal. I mean, if I wouldn't have met her at the time, I wouldn't be here. Um, but I did. And leading up to her, all I had was rap. Like that's all I cared about, man. I didn't give a shit about nothing but just
mm,
rap.
mm,
I didn't give, I like fucking hated life. I couldn't get high enough, but I had my music. I had to
yeah.
have my music, man. There's just something about music. But and for me, rap. And so I was really, 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 really into it. It was so much of who I was. You know what I mean? Like those that know me, they know. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes.
and so when I actually had a chance, whatever, blah blah blah, but I had a chance to potentially sign with a record label from St. Louis. I can't even remember the name of them now. They come down. I went over there and recorded a track with them with some boys from Atlanta, and my other dude kind of like taught me.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't end up fooling with them. And then I had a chance with these other boys I was running with to go down to Miami and meet somebody that had something to do with slip and slide, all because I wrapped something on somebody's phone. My boy handed me the thing. And
Okay.
then when he got back on the phone, he was like, do you know what color that guy was? Talking about me. And I guess it just kind of bugged old boy out. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
So and I had a chance. I ain't saying nothing would have happened. It might have
Yeah,
been
but
just
the
like,
opportunity that's a bit
yeah,
sad still. That's a
yeah,
bit
you
sad. I mean,
damn right.
Slip and Slide were
Yeah,
doing their
yeah,
thing
that's
back
it.
down there, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And look, also right before I met my wife, I came in second place at a Tone Loc concert. And here's a funny story behind that because um, it was at a place in Fort Walton Beach called the Swamp. And there was probably 300 people, and it was Tone Loc concert. Everybody's, I mean, we're out of our heads.
Mm,
And so he stops and he's like, does anybody want to come up here and battle? So I'm running
there
to the
we go.
stage. Here we go. Here we go. And they did it like the Apollo. There was like 20 of us. And they give you your spot, put their hand over your head, you know what I mean? And people
Yes,
booing,
yes.
just like the Apollo. And I mean literally like the Apollo. And it's Tone Loc, man. He's, you know what I mean? He's doing
Mm,
that. He's doing that part of it right. Um, so it came down to me and this one dude. And I came in second place. But the funny part of the story is when it was my turn to rap, I was just so eager that I snatched the microphone out of his hand. And I'll never forget, dude. And
Damn.
I instantly knew that I fucked up, but I also didn't care at the same time because I was still like eager. I'm like, oh, damn, I should have done that, but whatever. And he gave me a look like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
mm-mm-mm. He looked at the DJ. He looked at the DJ and like pointed at him. And
Damn.
so I did my thing, man. I was rocking the crowd. I was like they had to tell me to stop. And when it was all said and done, the DJ called me over. We had left, and they were at the buses and all that. And
Hmm.
I'll never forget what he told me. He said, "You got it, man." He's like, "You got it. You ain't you need to." He's like, "I know you're drunk and your wordplay was a little off." He's like, "But you definitely, you know what I mean. You need to move with that."
Yeah.
So I felt good. It felt like I had purpose because up to that point I felt like an invisible man, like I didn't exist. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
music gave me existence. I
hmm.
take that how you want to.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, especially
and
being in that kind of period. We're talking about mid 90s or early
we're
90s or what?
talking. This is actually the Tone Loc concert is the year 2000.
2000. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Fast forward to the next year when I married my wife, man, and I 100% walked away from a bad way of living.
Yeah.
Did a 180, man, and I just fully committed to my family for 20 years, bro, and so everything got put to the side. Because I was all about family and nothing
Family.
but family, man. And
Yeah.
then I lost all that shit last year, and when I tell you at the fucking bang and a bang, um, so I kind of was wandering, and me and Yafet we hooked up, man, without getting all whatever, you know.
Hey, bro, this is real life, man. It's not about getting
Thanks,
into
bro.
whatever. This is real life, man.
It
Thanks,
is,
bro.
it is, it is for sure. So I'm not playing, man. I ain't playing with this stuff, man. We're I'm gonna bring what I got to bring, man. That's what I'm gonna do. I know what I can bring, man. I'm gonna bring. May the best man win. Kind of. That's my attitude, man. I don't look at.
Yes.
I'm bringing mine. You bring yours. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If you get me, you get me. I love you still. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm just all in. We ain't kids. I'm a Toys R Us kid, but I ain't no
Yeah.
kid. So you know what I mean? Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah,
I like the reference. The
yeah.
ones of our age group who will totally
Oh
get that
man.
reference.
No, they don't. Like, yeah. I told somebody here's a quarter, call somebody who cares about a month ago, and they're just looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Love
You
it,
either
dog.
you said you either
Shout you,
get
bro.
it or you don't get it. It's
That's
simple.
it, man. That's it. That's it. Yeah, man. I don't know if I'm doing a good job answering your questions.
Yeah, perfect, man. Listen, don't
Okay.
even trip, Aero. Don't even trip,
Yeah.
man. This the whole CFR network. What we do
Mm-hmm.
here, we don't
Mm-hmm.
say, "Hey, Aero, give me 16 bars." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of liquor you drinking? What kind of weed you smoking? This isn't one of them ones. We want to know
Good.
about
Yeah.
you, man.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We want
Appreciate
to
it.
know the
Appreciate
real
it.
thing.
You
Right.
know, man, I've been a fan all my life, man. I just love, I'll tell you what really like, because the shift, man, because as a kid, it was all I wanted to be Skeeter Rabbit, Boogaloo Shrimp. It was Crush
Mm,
Groove. But I just,
mm,
I mean, my God, dude,
Mhm.
Boogie Down Bronx, I mean, we keep going with it. That's all I wanted to do was breakdance, man. I wanted to move to New York,
yeah.
put some spray paint in a cardboard box and just,
Yes. Some
um,
lino.
yeah, man. And then, as it kind of rose up, as the years rose up, it started with the MC Hammer type stuff, and then, Vanilla Ice and all that. And then I moved to LA, and it was like when I moved there, because rap at that point had kind of got, I don't want to say like poppy, but it kind of got poppy.
Dude,
Well, you're right, because the big record companies and execs saw the power in hip hop and
Yeah,
well, hip hop at the time, not necessarily rap, and said, you know what?
yeah.
Let's get third base on the go. Let's
Mm-hmm,
get
mm-hmm,
let's
mm-hmm,
get
mm-hmm,
well,
mm-hmm.
third base was actually a proper hip hop group, I would say. They
Oh
still had
yeah,
some
yeah,
skills, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I ain't gonna disrespect
Mm-hmm,
them like that. Then
mm-hmm,
we got Vanilla Ice, we got
mm-hmm,
Snow,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Oh yeah, my snow man, good lord, that was so dumb. Um,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
never liked that shit, man. I remember, yeah. I'm like, I had a friend of
Vanilla
mine one
Ice
time.
was
We're
a
like,
dog. I used to like Vanilla Ice
you
though,
like
dog.
snow?
I used to
Okay.
like Vanilla Ice,
Well,
bro. I mean,
okay. Well, let me say something. If we're gonna put our cards on the table right here now, even Vanilla Ice, because it was like
right.
like forced into your head. Like everywhere you go, you would hear that, and the beat's dope. Let's not get
Hmm.
it twisted. The beat's
Yeah,
dope.
Queen. Yeah, Queen knew what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you got to suing over
Then
that and
you
whatever.
know what? You know what I looked at it like with Vanilla Ice at the time. What I like, I looked at it like almost one of the first gimmicks in hip hop. You know, it was
Yeah,
Yes.
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
white person. I'm
yeah.
not raised or whatever, but it was the
No,
first
you
white
was,
person I knew to be a rapper. I
yeah,
thought that shit was
yeah.
like cool. I was like, damn.
I
So
saw it the
you
same
know
way.
that what made me. You know, I was on Vanilla Ice. That's what I thought was
Yeah,
cool about it.
yeah.
And that fucking
Oh,
track was serious, boy.
yeah. Hey, I loved it,
That
man. I ain't
track
gonna
was
lie.
serious
Hey,
for
I ain't
real.
gonna lie. I loved it until it wasn't cool to love it no more. Then I secret. Then I loved it in secret. Um, um. But so when I moved to LA, that's when it kind of like reminded me of a kid again because it was like this coming out of, I don't know how to, man, how do you describe it? Like kind of from the dust and what the kids are doing. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
here
yeah.
comes this gangster rap.
Yeah.
Um,
You had
and
that as you say, that West Coast gangster stuff. Then you had
yeah,
that
man, yeah,
Bay, you had that
yeah.
Bay, the
Yeah, then you
11-5.
had the Bay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm,
with Too Short and all that. So when I came back, but I'm gonna tell you right now, and I love New York. I love New York rap. Always have. I was because in my city, I would be one of the few. I'd ride around listening to Mobb Deep, Big L, and most
mm.
of these guys are on Snoop or something, and or anything from New Orleans. But I love all regions. But what hit me the most, and for me, it's New Orleans. There ain't no question. There's just so much talent. I mean, you mentioned names earlier, Mystical, just him alone.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
mean, so much. New Orleans is so eat up with
Mac,
talent. God.
BG, Soldier Slim, aka
Oh man.
Magnolia Slim, Rising
Mm-hmm,
Paradise, Sporty T, come on,
mm-hmm,
G
mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Slim.
Oh damn.
Facts,
G
man.
Slim.
Facts.
Yes. Yep. Sporty T. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a big boy right there, ain't it?
Yep.
Yep, yep, yep. Because I was big into G Slim. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, G Slim.
Um,
He was very unique, man. Very unique. Had that kind of West Coast kind of vibe
he
to him.
did. He did. He did. Big Boy kind of had like that Southern West Coast thing going on. I don't know how
Yes.
to describe it,
Hmm.
but it was still like its own thing. But yeah, it had that West Coast type stuff to it.
It was the flavor, man. It was the
It was,
flavor. It was the
dude,
slang was just different. This
yeah,
you heard me business. The
yeah,
soldiers to this day,
yeah,
to this day, I still wear soldiers because
bro.
come
Oh
on.
God, boy, for
Look,
real.
man, I've still got
That boy
I
can
probably
keep it
got 10
100.
pairs of them.
Yeah, man. Soldiers
I
in
still got.
all black or soldiers in all white. That's all I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Facts.
mm-hmm, hmm I still
Rest
got
in
my.
peace,
I
Soldier
still got.
Slim, straight up,
Yes.
all
Yes.
all the time,
Yeah.
for real, man.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then
yep.
go with one step further. The soldier rag. Come on.
Yeah,
Oh, buddy,
yeah, man.
I have my wannabe juvenile rag. I got a couple pictures like that. I had the whole, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing about the regional scenes and the culture, as you say. I mean, you had it starts, I guess, in the East Coast, New York, etc. We had that West Coast influence. You had the Bay, Frisco, and all that. We got Houston. We got, and let's not forget where you are. We got that Miami bass shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
was that
Oh,
Yeah,
dance stuff.
mhm. Yeah,
Um,
man. Yeah. Yeah.
Houston, Texas, Waco, San Antonio,
Oh,
D-Town. We
yeah.
got New Orleans, that boot, the whole of
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
Baton Rouge,
Mm-hmm.
all that. And let's not
Mm-hmm.
forget Memphis,
Oh no, not at all,
huh?
boy. Come on, 8 Ball and
Kingpin,
MJG. Are you
exactly.
come on?
Ball and
Jeez.
G, Kingpin, Skinny Pimp.
Suave House. Yeah, man. Come on. Jeez, Manitty, come on. Dude, you hitting it. Yeah, bro. Like I just didn't elaborate enough, but yeah, man, that's yeah. Houston, and see, Houston's got its own thing going.
Yeah,
It's got that kind of, it's got that kind of you know, syrupy kind of.
that
Houston's got its thing going.
swanging and banging, that
I
city of syrup.
Oh yeah, that 100% authentic to their culture. I would probably say New Orleans and Houston. Uh, but for me, just bringing such a sound that was so much theirs. You
Yes,
know,
and if we look at it and examine it, and we've built on your part one, yeah, what you guys had and that culture in the boot in New Orleans, in Texas, in Houston, that was seen, and even to this day, there's elements within the rap style, the certain bits and
right.
pieces which we can see throughout the whole of this thing we call rap now.
Man, I see
mm-hmm.
it all the time. I noticed it the other day, really. Far as I mean, I ain't big on no other culture music but New Orleans, but I do listen to all music. But the other day I noticed Houston culture is just as great. I mean, not just as great. There's no comparison, but that culture is they have a deep culture out there, man. Because
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of the artists that they started just as well, like back in the G when we did.
Mm,
Them dudes still around in that music. It's a whole like they call it screwed or whatever. They
yep.
still doing that. And I mean, everywhere, every place have their own type of culture music, and Houston is one of them. You know,
Yes.
it ain't just
Rising.
Dallas, it's Houston. Like New
Yeah.
Orleans have their own culture, and Baton Rouge doing their thing. Houston have a culture, and Dallas doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You see the comparison? What I'm saying, right,
Oh
Simple?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
100%. 100%
yeah,
because that those are the places, that as I mentioned, that journey was my journey from East Coast to West Coast to Houston, a little bit at Miami base, you know what I mean, that
right,
boot to Memphis, you know what I mean, and all of those
right.
had
Memphis
those,
also,
yeah.
Memphis also, they're one of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's those cities. It's not the entire state.
Mm,
It's those cities that have their own identity. And Houston is
yes.
definitely one of them. You know what I mean?
100% screwed up click, South Park
Yeah.
Coalition, Rising Paradise, DJ Screw, Fat Pat, Mafio, Gator,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Pimp C,
Mm-hmm.
obviously,
You know
UGK.
you gonna come with it. All I already know it. Yeah, you know that.
Y'all
Right,
raised me, man. Come on out. I listen, I wouldn't be the person I am today if I wasn't listening to UGK, if I wasn't listening to UNLV, the whole of the SPC, the whole of the SUC, Swisher
yeah,
House, Suave House, Rap A Lot Records. Come on. Yeah, Big Boy
right.
Records, Cash Money Records, even
Hell
for
yeah,
Percy Miller,
hell
No
yeah,
Limit, you know.
hell
Mm-hmm.
LOG.
yeah.
Remember LOG, Camouflage
Yeah.
Down?
Shout out
Huh?
LOG, man. Shout
Phil
out
Phil.
LOG. He out here
Yes.
in Houston rap. If y'all need to holler at my dog, holler at him. He's still active. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those artists that you name, they might, they might be still. I mean, they are still active, but nobody know how to get in touch with them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let you know if they active, they still active. I might not, can't get in touch with all of them, but
Mm.
I'm gonna let you know they still active. You know what I mean?
And this is one of the missions, man. This is one of the whole missions to encapsulate
Facts,
that
facts.
period of time and get y'all to come up, collect your flowers, and tell the story, man.
Yeah,
Because
man. Big shout
you
out
know,
LOG. You heard me? Yeah, for
thousand
Mm-hmm.
real.
percent, man, 1000%.
Man, it blows my mind how knowledgeable you are, because you live in England, correct?
Yes.
Man, yeah. It just goes to, that's cool, man. Yeah. I mean, and you just hit all of it. Yeah, it's I tell you what, man, it's something else.
Yeah,
Um,
and Aero, you know how difficult it was back in the early 90s for us to purchase the material.
mm,
It would take us sometimes 16 weeks to get a big boy record.
wow.
We'd have to go search for it on the black screen computer with
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
with green writing. This is how old school I'm going. Yeah,
Mm, mm,
going
mm,
through all of the
mm,
IMB numbers. Da da da. Okay, okay. Anything on Big Boy Records, order it. Anything on Cash Money, order it, and just phone me when it's, and I'm gonna pay that there.
Wow. And all
So
I had to
it
do was
was. I
walk up in the
mean,
Camelot.
I always was like, damn, it had to be hard for them to get our music from so far, and they had to wait a minute, but y'all had to be like God damn, I mean, like real US, what I'm
Hungry,
saying, y'all was
listen,
fucking with us, bro. So I
hungry for it,
appreciate the
man.
fans over there, man.
It's
I
look.
appreciate what they go through to get the music and everything. You heard?
People
For
don't
real.
realize, man. People really don't. Like Murder Dog, without the Murder Dog magazine, you know, and outside of
Yeah.
like an artist featuring on another person's track, us in England, because we're talking before the internet. The internet wasn't, it was around, like,
Yeah.
but not like
Yeah.
how it is now.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Like we couldn't
Yeah.
search UNLV and
Man,
purchase that shit.
you, you,
Right.
you want me
Right.
you want me to
It
tell
was
you something that'll
different.
shock you?
Hmm.
You want to hear something that'll probably shock you?
Go for it.
And I mean, I'm still like I was thawed out from ice, man. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I still have to learn computers and everything. Um, like I said, I was married for 20 years, and she handled that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't give a fuck about a computer. Like you handle that, I'm gonna work and make money.
Mm,
You do your side, I do mine. I never cared about no computer because when we were kids, that shit wasn't around. And by the time it like became a thing, I was already pretty much married, and it was one of those things where I just didn't give a shit about it. And for 20 years, I had never really got into it, and now I'm forced into it. And it
mm.
just like my brother was yelling at me the other day. He's like, I can't believe you 40, man. How you not know how to use a computer?
And I'm like a dinosaur, sibling.
Damn.
I'm like a dinosaur. Fuck, I'm jumping on that shit late too. I
I
was
know.
a beast
I know.
with computers in high school though. I kept A's in computer lit and computer
Okay.
science. I was
Yeah.
telling my wife the other day, like, you know what? I had straight A's and all this shit, but all this new shit, I'm like a
Yeah.
dinosaur to it. My 16-year-old daughter being here showing me though, you with me? We both be look, yeah, hey, let's get it together. You with me? Yeah,
Yes,
for
yes,
Hey,
real.
yes.
Yafet was cracking me up. We went, if you don't mind me telling him, Yafet, we went and picked his beautiful daughter up from school. And on the way back, Yafet was breaking down how the Jetsons and all their stuff was coming true. And boy, we were laughing our butts off all day.
Man, that's together, dog.
Because,
For real.
his daughter's like thinking, like, okay, you got to give me more than just this. Like, you need to start explaining how it can be. And it was
Mm,
just
Right.
it was a funny back and forth.
that's
For real,
crazy.
dog. Yeah.
That's life,
Gotta get
though.
it one way, dog. It's a whole different, I mean, compare especially the music industry, man. And not only that, just the way of living is different now, man. Them children, they don't even know about a fucking house phone.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? I
okay.
mean, a rotary house phone.
Mm,
So
hmm.
it's different. So I mean, I guess when they think about how we came up, that shit like weird to them. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
But
I
I'm seeing both eras of the industry.
yes,
If not, life in general, fuck the industry. Nigga,
yeah.
I was there when
Yeah.
we was knocking, had to take one fucking poster and hit it on the
Yeah.
hit it on the post where the wall or the pole, whatever, on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
5 people might see it. You know what I mean? They gonna come take it off. Somebody gonna take it off before no more than 5 people see it. You know,
Mm.
nowadays you can take a picture at home and bling, hit the button. You know, thousands of
Yes.
people. So it's a different time. So you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm seeing both eras, and that's a
Mhm.
blessing. You know what I mean? I
It
embrace this new. I'm embracing it.
you
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's
gotta
all good with me. I'm learning it, and it's. I mean, I love what I do. I loved it from nostalgia. Wait, Miss Sibling.
yeah. And
Mhm.
I
Oh yeah.
think we're blessed to be in a position where we've come from a
Facts.
point where there was none of this. You know what I mean? So we've seen the
Right.
elevation and the growth and the, up
Right.
and
No
rise
struggle,
of
no
technology.
progress. It's like how you gonna enjoy the fruits when you really ain't really work to get there. So
Mm,
you
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Come
Mhm.
on, man.
Mhm. Mhm.
this is it, man. We
Mhm.
got it. But ultimately, we have, it's here. I ain't saying to everyone to immerse themselves and be 24/7 on social media and on the technology. I'm saying use it for your advantage. You know what I mean? Especially as we're talking music wise, and as you've
Right.
highlighted, hand
Oh
to
yeah.
hand sales who used to rule out the trunk money used to rule the day back then.
I know
Now,
about those times, man.
perfect time, beautiful times, man. A beautiful times, really, really beautiful. That's what made like I can only picture like we had the Ghetto Boys were supposed to come over to Birmingham, England in
Mhm.
1992. And bought the tickets well in advance. It was going to be obviously Scarface, Willie D, and Bushwick. Unfortunately,
Right.
they didn't get to come. And this was only when this is when I first found out about anything outside of New York East Coast rap. My brethren gave
Mhm.
me the first rap a lot CD I was well, not even CD, we're talking tape. First rap a lot tape I was given was Gangster Nip, South Park Psycho, and I was hooked. I then got Seagram, Dark Roads. I was like, yeah, this is a total new sound. Everything sounds so rich. There's so much different new musical notes in the background. It's not as
Mhm.
basic as the East
Mhm.
Coast. You know, the content is different. Like, yo,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is the thing. So that's when my search and my thirst said, like, look, I'm no longer gonna be driven by your MTV raps of what I'm gonna listen to. I'm no longer gonna be driven by the DJ who plays only once a week hip hop
Mhm.
music. I'm gonna search for this shit myself now. Sometimes I might fall on to get some dud albums, but generally I'm stumbling across UNLV.
Right.
Let's get this here. Big Boy Rock. Okay, well, this album was good. So anything that comes from this record label, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Um.
where P won that. Sibling. That's where P killed the game at, man. Because
Mhm. Mhm.
dog, when that boy, anything you saw with a no limit
Mhm.
stamp on it,
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
get it.
Mhm.
That's what that
Mhm.
meant. A tank on it, get it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's how he, done his thing really with that distribution in the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I, Yafet, I think I told you about um November of 21, a couple months before I lost my wife. Remember I told you I lost my little brother in a hotel bathroom in Dallas with a needle in his arm.
Yeah,
Man.
He
yeah, yeah.
he he was basically he was my cousin, but he was my brother. So there's all that is. Um, he actually had to go to prison when he was about 17 because he had a no limit chain. He got it at the flea market. It was fake, you know what I mean? It was just metal,
Mhm.
but it was a
Mhm.
no limit tank. And
Tank.
Right.
this senior at school said, "You're gonna give me that chain this afternoon." Well, he avoided him, went back to the flea market, got some brass knuckles, came back. Old boy tried to snatch his no limit chain, and
Um,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and
how it was
Bro.
back. That's how it was back then, though. That's how it was
Yeah.
back then, though.
but you see what you're saying to me, like this is like everybody in Brum, and I would imagine in other cities, London, Bristol, who was down with this thing, everyone wanted the no limit chain. Peace at least. Everybody wanted the Rap A Lot piece.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Everybody
mm-hmm,
wanted the hypnotized camp posse, 3 6
mm-hmm,
Mafia style thing. You know
The
what I
big
mean?
Cash Money.
Right.
Yeah.
I was, yes, when the big timers came out and we found out about Cash Money, it was like, yeah, man, we want the Cash Money piece now. You know what I
Right.
mean? But over here, there was no one even had the ingenuity or audacity to say, you know what? Let me let me knock something up and sell these out. Like
Yeah.
we it wasn't even an option. But over there where you are, obviously people thought, let me do this here.
Yeah.
Got on their grind, man. Got on their grind. So, you know, a gap in the market. And this fast forward, I was on Instagram not only a couple weeks ago, and I'm seeing death row pendants that you can buy. No limit
Mhm.
pendants and all kind of stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we're like
Yeah.
20, 30 years too late, right?
So
Right.
no doubt.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. That's back